Alrighty folks, in this video I want to go over some of my tips on getting out of rookies and some helpful lessons I learned along the way. I have 5 tips for you here today and a bonus one at the end, so stay tuned. If you like this video and you want to see more content like this, please leave a like and consider subscribing. So let's get into the video. It sounds simple, but you need to practice. You'll never win a race if you're on pit road using your fast repairs. If a race is 30 laps, practice until you can run 30 clean laps. You're fast, but you're wrecking every 10 laps? Practice some more. Slow, but you can make it around the track? You're probably on the right track. For someone practicing to learn a new track, I would recommend starting with the racing line to help with braking points, and that's really the only thing that we're going to use that for. The racing line shows us the hypothetical ideal corner, but what it cannot show you is how you actually race on a track. If everyone is on the racing line, no one is passing, and we are just driving really fast. Use the racing line to practice getting around the track and build good habits on how to drive. More on this in tip 3. To get out of rookies, we need to be finishing races cleanly, and if you cannot do that, you'll always be stuck there. Stop trying to race. This sounds crazy and I know it does, but hear me out. Rookies equals risk management. How do you run clean, consistent laps? By being in clean air and not battling for position. If we are already struggling to run clean laps, the last thing that we need to be doing is being stuck in dirty air, not having open entries and exits, and the possibility of collecting contact points. You may feel like you're faster, but you may just be running harder than someone, and as soon as you catch them, they pick up their pace. And now you're both battling each other, putting extra heat and wear into your tires, making your cars more difficult to drive, and you both probably lack the talent to be able to hold on to it long enough to sort it out. Learning to manage risk is important, and the Rookies division teaches you exactly this. So, if someone catches you and is close enough that they could possibly miss their braking point and take you out, you may want to just back off and let them go. They are likely more dangerous than they are worth the battle. If you are gaining on someone and as soon as you go to pass them, they start to battle you, back up your pace and ride behind them. Their lack of experience will most likely cause them to overdrive entry or push too hard on exit, and then you can take advantage of their mistake. A really important thing to think about as you move up in divisions and iRating is that the iRating system is designed to match you closer to those of your skill level. So what you will find is that most of your better finishes will not be because you were the fastest car out there, but because you made less mistakes and that you were able to maintain a good consistent pace where others fell off because they poorly managed their equipment or made other mistakes. Learning this habit early will save you a lot of mental frustration when you hit a plateau or trying to go too hard because you're trying to make up in a different way. Get familiar with one car. It's easy to hop into something on iRacing and just go, but it is really important that we get familiar with a specific car and learn how to drive it. Every car is different and they all do weird things. Knowing the ins and outs of a car will help you understand what you can and can't do. A great example is how the street stock and the Legends cars drive. The street stock can be a bit more forgiving since it has a longer wheelbase and is less likely to snap around on you whenever you get loose, but more power in a street stock means that you will be enticed to overdrive and make other mistakes. Both cars can teach you really important lessons, but they are different. And being different, they will react differently in all situations, which will surprise you whenever you are new. Switching cars frequently keeps your baseline knowledge of the car lower than sticking with one and learning the ins and outs. Try them both out and you will likely find that you click a little bit more with one or the other. I would recommend sticking with it until you find your path out of rookies. Think about what the car is doing. Sometimes when we are struggling to make pace and be consistent, we need to stop and think about what the car is doing, what message is it trying to tell us, and learn how to diagnose that problem. Have you ever been trying to go faster and you pick up the throttle as soon as you can, but then you can't stop the car from pounding that outside wall while others are driving off the corner? This is a common problem, and here are some of the ways that I would respond. First, let's go over some terminology. When the car is tight, it will understeer, the wheel will feel heavy, and it will feel like it doesn't want to turn. When you step on the gas and the car goes from rotating to driving straight to the wall, we will call this a push, or the car is pushing. When the car is tight, we're using more of the right front tire. When the car is loose, it will oversteer, the wheel will feel very light or dead, and rotate a lot more than we want. This is where you hear about lateral grip or lack thereof, and the car feels more like it is sliding around than it is going forward. When the car is loose, we are using more of the right rear tire. For beginners, a loose car can be a handful and extremely difficult to keep under control. That is why in iRacing, the fixed setup tends to be tighter to be more forgiving. But you have probably heard somewhere that loose is fast, but we are not there yet. Remember, we are just trying to get out of rookies. Setups can come much later. So, back to the car pushing out to the wall. How do we handle this? My guess is we get about halfway through the corner, or we can see the exit and we mash the throttle down. In the short term, this works, but it only amplifies the problem. You are waiting to watch the front of the car pivot in the corner. If the car is still pointing towards the wall, you'll never get the rotation to make the turn. You'll stay leaning on the right front tire, continuing to overheat it and wear it out before the race is over. If our car is too tight and pushing, plowing even, we need to wait longer in the center of the corner and slowly add throttle to help the car rotate. What if the car is super loose on exit and the car just snaps? Weirdly enough, you're probably still dealing with a tight race car. It is likely that you have too much wheel input on exit and the car comes off the corner, unloads the weight, and immediately spins the car because you are still turning to the left. If that is not the case, you might be putting too much throttle too soon, and you could benefit from easing onto the throttle instead of 100%ing your car into oblivion. Watch other content creators. If you are not familiar with racing and knowing the ins and outs of the sport, you should really watch some other YouTubers and see what they are doing and learn from them. There are things they do with wheel, throttle, and brake inputs that are not natural to your experience driving a car on the roads. To go fast isn't always by having the fastest lap. There is a lot of nuance that separates pros from the novice. Some channels I frequently watch are Nebin5, Campbell Racing, Griffin2448, and DJ EJ whenever he uploads guides. These channels are really great if you're trying to see someone else utilize different techniques to get the most out of their car. The only thing to keep in mind is that they are seasoned and they have developed years and years of racecraft. You're not necessarily there yet, and that's okay. And my bonus tip is have fun. iRacing is competitive, but by no means should it be treated as seriously as some do. You're probably not going to be able to make it to the Cup Series like Willie B, but you still can hop onto a game and race your heart out with others who have the same desire to go out and win. Success in iRacing is not linear, and success does not have to be measured by your iRating or safety rating. Set your own goals of being a better driver, competitor, and find a good balance of what is important to you. I hope this video helps a bit as you work on getting out of rookies. If you enjoyed this video, seriously consider subscribing and supporting the channel. If you have any other topics you would like me to make a video on, please leave a comment and I will see what I can do. Until next time, see you in the next one.